Skips, also known as Walks, is one of the strongest characters in fiction. As an immortal Yeti, he can lift massive objects, defeat supernatural beings, and even go toe-to-toe with death himself. So today, we're going to dive deep into his 6 different levels of strength to find out just how strong Skips really is, starting with his normal state. In this state, Skip's strength is already way beyond normal. Even at just 1% strength, he's doing most things people could only dream of. In the episode Skips vs. Technology, a nasty computer virus called Doomageddon was seen wreaking havoc at the park, messing up everything from the coffee machine to the park's records. Meanwhile, Skips, who's never been a fan of computers, wasn't about to let some tech glitch slide. So he grabs his trusty sledgehammer, winds up, and hurls it with pinpoint accuracy right through the computer, smashing the virus to bits. And I was curious about how strong you'd have to be to throw a sledgehammer like that, and well, a typical sledgehammer weighs about 20 pounds, and Skips throws it like a baseball with enough force to destroy a computer in one hit. And what's so crazy is that Skips does this so casually, like it's just another day at the park. This shows that Skips has to hold back his strength all the time, because if he lets loose, even just a little, he could cause serious damage. Like at 10% power, Skips was seen battling with his own stress like a worn-out warrior juggling too many battles at once. In the episode Skip's Stress, he was seen working on fixing a card in his garage when Mordecai and Rigby come in and ask him to fix the pump for the fountain. However, it wasn't just Mordecai and Rigby. Basically, everyone at the park wanted Skips to help out. And since he couldn't say no to his friends, that's when things started to go wrong. As he works, Skip noticed a dark line down his arm, which seems to be linked to his rising stress levels. So, Pop suggests that they visit an ancient bell in the Himalayas, which can relieve Skip's stress if wrong. They eventually arrive at the bell, where several dead bodies are found. Skips warns everyone to cover their ears when he rings the bell, particularly Rigby, who has a tendency to mess things up. Skips rings the bell, and his stress manifests as a dark monster. He immediately engages in a fierce battle with it, while Rigby runs to fetch Skip's ninja sword, which Skips had forgotten. As the battle continues, everyone else uncovers their ears, and their stress is transferred into their own stress heads. And now, it's up to Skips to defeat his own stress head. Skips battles his stress head one-on-one. After a tough face-off, Skips finally manages to overpower his stress head by grabbing a spear and literally stabbing it through its mouth, killing it in the end. With the battle won, the group returns to the car, but they find the tires have been damaged by weapons from the fight, and so he jumped into fixing it again without a break. This shows that it's not only physical entities. Skips also has the power to even fight the spiritual things too. However, even at a quarter of Skip's power, this would have caused him no trouble. But how would the situation be if his strength were 25% instead of 10%? Well, when Skips hits 25% power, his strength starts shining in ways that defy even laws of physics. And Skip strikes, Skips joins the Park Strikers bowling team to face off against the magical elements. The team of supernatural beings like Death, Gary, and a wizard who cheat with their magic powers. But guess what? Skips wasn't buying it.
My friend's souls are more important than my secret. You want to tell him my real name isn't Skips? Go ahead.
In the final frame, with the game on the line, he steps up and bowls a perfect strike, overpowering the magic with his raw physical strength. Apparently, a bowling ball weighs about 14 pounds, and Skips hurls it with such brute force that it tears through the magical barriers like they're paper. What's wild is that he does it under pressure, with everyone counting on him. By overpowering the very core of magic with sheer strength, Skips isn't just resisting magic, he's breaking it, which alone puts him above characters like Superman, who actually struggle against magic. So far in this video, we have seen Skips fighting a computer virus and defying supernatural beings with his raw strength. But now, we're about to ramp it up to 50% power, where Skips faces off against a natural disaster. At 50% power, Skip's strength goes from impressive to absolutely terrifying. In the episode Skips in the Saddle, Skips was seen going on a date with random women just because he feels lonely. After all, man cannot live alone. So Rigby and Mordecai tried the internet and found someone who matches his profile. And now it's time to go for a date. But the show called It's a Date turns into a total disaster, as he had been involved in fighting with the other guy. What's surprising was that at one point, this guy was seen shooting at him, but Skips literally humbled him with a single punch. The problem didn't end here though. Debris was falling and people were in danger. That's when Skips stepped up like a true hero, catching a massive lighting fixture before it could crush someone, pushing Jimmy Jams out of the way of a collapsing wall, and even lifting and throwing a huge pillar to save Sheena from falling debris. While lifting the gigantic gigantic pillar, his tight outfit ripped, revealing his bodybuilder physique. The audience was shocked. Not only had he manhandled the attacker, but he also managed to save Sheena all in one go. After watching this, you may be wondering how heavy a stone pillar possibly is. Well, a stone pillar could weigh hundreds of pounds, and Skips throws it like it's a toy to save someone's life. That's not just strength, it's speed and precision under pressure. What's wild is that Skips does all these things one after another, saving multiple people in a chaotic mess. This episode shows that his strength isn't just for fighting, it's for protecting his friends and being a hero when things go wrong. Skips at 50% power is like a superhero movie come to life, but things get even crazier when he was at 75% power. Skips was seen challenging the very idea of death itself. In the episode Over the Top, Skips was seen infuriated at Rigby after losing an arm wrestling match against him, and so he asked for a rematch.
Rigby, me, you, rematch.
No.
I said I want a rematch.
I'm busy.
But then the problem begins as he accidentally killed Rigby during an arm wrestling match because his strength was just too much.
I'm sorry, Rigby. I'll make it up to you.
So, to fix these all, he then challenges Death himself to an arm wrestling match to bring Rigby back. Skips goes head to head with Death, a supernatural being who's supposed to be unbeatable, and he nearly wins, forcing Death to make a deal. Have you ever imagined how strong you'd have to be to arm wrestle Death? Death isn't just a guy, he's a magical being with crazy power, yet Skips holds his own, pushing Death to the brink. That's strength on a whole other level, like arm wrestling a god. What's crazy is that Skips does this to save his friend, showing that his strength comes from his heart as much as his muscles. Now, I know Skips' muscles have already proven him to be the best so far, but what is he truly capable of when he's at 100%? Finally, at 100% power, Skips unleashes his full might, and it's out of this world, literally. In Skips' story, we learn about his past as Walks, a high school kid who fell in love with a girl named Mona. But sadly, Mona was killed by the immortal destroyer, Clorgbane. My bad, Mona. Skips makes a deal to become immortal so he can fight Clorgbane every 157 years to save the world. Crazy, right? In their final battle, Skips, powered by the magical fists of justice, punches Clorgbane so hard that he sends him rocketing into the stratosphere. And that's how Skip took his final revenge. But the question is, where did he send Clorgbane? Well, the stratosphere. Turns out it's about 6 to 30 miles above the Earth. And surprisingly, that is a punch that breaks every rule of physics. What's insane is that this fight isn't just about strength. It's about Skip's love for Mona and his duty to protect the world. Every 157 years, he has to face Clorgbane again, and every time he brings his same unbelievable power. At 100% power, Skips isn't just a Yeti. He's a world-saving hero whose strength comes from his heart and his fists. So, Skips finally proved that his strength isn't just about muscles. It's about his immortality, his loyalty, and his will to keep the park and the world safe. Skips is the guy you want on your team when the world's falling apart. And if you love hearing about Skips' epic feats, just keep watching Regular Recap. Subscribe.